The year is almost over, and there are 3 companies that I'm really looking forward to the most when it comes to seeing their products in 2022. And those companies are Apple, Samsung, and Google. We've already covered Samsung's S22 lineup, and we will be covering Apple's product soon. But this video is all about Google, with 4 major Google products that I'm really looking forward to. If you're looking to buy a brand new TV, now is the perfect time, thanks to the new Sky Glass from Sky, our sponsor for this video. With a beautifully anodized aluminum frame, 5 colors to choose from, a built-in soundbar, and QLED technology, plus Sky built right in, the Sky Glass is unlike any other TV you've seen before. It comes in 3 sizes: small, 43-inch, medium, 55-inch, and large, 65-inch, and starts from just £13 a month. Check it out by using the link below. And now, back to the video. And number 4, and this is actually the biggest one, is the Pixel Watch. I find it so weird that out of all companies, Google, who literally makes Android and Wear OS and already has a smartphone of their own, still does not have a watch of their own, when pretty much all the other smartphone manufacturers that I can think of do have a smartwatch. The Pixel Watch has been rumored for many years now. We've literally made concepts of it back in 2019. Yes, that's how long it's been. But right after each exciting Pixel Watch rumor, we got the news that it's been cancelled. Well, earlier this year, Jon Prosser released his concept in partnership with Ian Zalbo, based on actual images that they've allegedly seen of the Pixel Watch. And when I saw those images, I fell in love, like instantly. Just look at this thing. Isn't it the best looking smartwatch ever made? The closest thing to it is the ZEP-E smartwatch, which is really good looking. The only downside is that the bezels are quite thick, as you can probably tell, and it's also a very basic smartwatch that is not running on Wear OS, so you're stuck with just these default apps that you have, and there's not a lot of them. So yeah, functionality is quite limited. The Pixel Watch would of course run Wear OS, but it would still look very similar to this ZEP-E. Now, Jon's renders were from April of this year, and we haven't really had much since. Some rumors were saying that Google was also working on their own custom tensor chip for the Pixel Watch, so we were all expecting the Pixel Watch to launch alongside, the Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 launched, and it did indeed come with Google's tensor chip, but there was no sign of the Pixel Watch. Until a new report from Business Insider from just a few days ago that claimed that Google is still working on the Pixel Watch and that it will launch in 2022. And it also confirms a lot of the details that Jon Prosser mentioned in his report from April, including the Rohan codename. Jon then followed with a more specific release date of Q1 2022, and also shared a couple of actual leaked marketing photos that he got access to that seemed to show pretty much the exact same design that he had in those April renders. Not only that, but they also offer us a glimpse into how Google is planning to market this watch, with phrases such as a round and bezel-less design and bringing unity to hardware and software, as well as a couple of references to health tracking. And oh man, I just love how minimal the menus look. I'm so excited for this watch, honestly. And according to Max Weinbach, Samsung will be manufacturing this chip. This might make you think that it won't be a tensor chip, but an Exynos chip instead. However, I still think that it will be a tensor chip, as even the tensor chip inside the Pixel 6 is actually manufactured by Samsung. And according to Jon Prosser, the reason why the Pixel Watch got delayed into 2022 is apparently because of that global chip shortage. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Pixel Watch. Personally, I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, and number 3, we have the Pixel 6A, as in, the Pixel 6A, the more affordable Pixel 6. Now, this Pixel 6 right here was already a great value. At $600, which was $300 less than the Pixel 6 Pro, it offered everything that the Pixel 6 Pro offered, with the exception of that periscope zoom module. And some features were tuned down. The display was smaller, lower res, and refreshed at 90 Hz compared to 120. It came with 8 GB of RAM instead of 12, and the screen was actually flat instead of curved, like it was on the Pro model. But in reality, the periscope module was really the only main noticeable thing that was missing. So if Google is releasing a Pixel 6a, which they are, according to the latest leaks, what other features will they tune down, and how much more affordable will it actually be? Well, the design is actually said to look identical to the Pixel 6, but it is said to come with a plastic back instead of the glass back that we have now, and a smaller 6.2-inch display instead of the 6.4 that we have now, but it will apparently retain the same main camera on the back, the same ultra-wide, and also the same front-facing camera as the Pixel 6. The headphone jack is said to be removed, which the Pixel 5a did have, but the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro lacked, so that was kind of expected. And yeah, at the end of the day, it looks like the Pixel 6a would just be a Pixel 6 with a smaller display and a plastic back, literally that. Now, price-wise, the Pixel 5a costs $450. So I feel like the Pixel 6a could start at $500 to $530 at the very most, as the Pixel 6 already starts from $600. Still, I think that this would be a great option for anyone who wants a very well-performing phone with an amazing camera. At the beginning of this video, I briefly showed you the Sky Glass TV. And now I want to go into a bit more detail and show you why this right here is the most unique TV I have ever seen. Number one, the design. You cannot argue with the fact that the Sky Glass looks stunning thanks to its fully anodized aluminum enclosure. Even the remote perfectly matches the color of your TV. On top of that, it comes in 5 different colors to match whatever wall you attach it to. Oh, and if you want even more customizability, the soundbar mesh is fully replaceable. As number 2, the Sky Glass also has a built-in soundbar which sounds awesome. Number 3, the Sky Glass features a 4K QLED panel with multiple dimming zones, which allow it to have deeper blacks than what a normal LCD TV would have. Number 4, it has the full Sky experience built right in. And number 5, the UI is very intuitive. You can easily find all of your shows in one place, and you can also control your Sky Glass TV using your voice. And from just £13 a month, the Sky Glass is a very competitive deal. Check it out by using the link below. Okay, number 3, we have the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7 Pro. Unfortunately, we don't know much about them yet, so here's what we know and what we can expect to see. So in terms of what we know, according to 95Google, Google is already working on Tensor 2, which is codenamed GS202. The original Tensor was codenamed GS101. And this is everything that we know about the Pixel 7 at this point. Now, in terms of what we could expect, I would love to see more raw performance out of that Tensor chip. Now, the Tensor 1 wasn't bad, it was actually way better than I thought, coming fairly close to the Snapdragon 888 and the Exynos 2100 in performance, and even outperforming them in machine learning tasks. But what I want to see here is something that can truly compete with Apple. The A15 is still on the top of the leaderboards, and I would love to see Google's next chip come close or even surpass Apple. That would be quite interesting to see. Now, the Tensor 1 was manufactured on Samsung's 5nm manufacturing process, which is more than likely going to be upgraded to a 4nm process to match Snapdragon's 8 Gen 1 chip. This should also give us an improved battery life, as the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro were reported to be quite mediocre in this regard. Now, unfortunately, I haven't really had a lot of time to test the Pixel 6 Pro's battery life, reason why we haven't published a full review, just the 2 camera comparisons, which you can watch right here. Speaking of the camera, the Pixel 6 Pro and the Pixel 6 were great. In fact, they even outperformed the iPhone 13 Pro in terms of photos and image processing, but they severely lacked in terms of video. Like, just looking at some Pixel 6 footage might make you think that this was taken with a low to mid-range smartphone, because it is extremely noisy, soft, and I don't know, it just doesn't look great at all. Google really needs to improve their camera here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if for the Pixel 7, Google ends up using the exact same camera sensor as in the Pixel 6, as that's what they've done with the Pixel 2, 3, 4, and 5. Something that I really hope that Google keeps unchanged though is this design. Like, I'm actually a big fan of the Pixel 6's design. It looks very unique and reminds me of the Nexus 6P or even RoboCop. Great movie, by the way. Apple's iPhone used to be recognizable because of the home button and the fat top and bottom bezels, but now it is recognizable because of that notch. And I feel like Google also needs something to be recognized by, which should really be the back-facing camera module. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you would like to see from the Pixel 7. And at number 1, we have the Pixel Fold. Yes, Google is making a foldable. This is something that, just like the Pixel Watch, has been reported over the years. And now I do have some updates for you. The codename is Passport, and Google is mainly trying to compete with Samsung on this. They've recently announced Android 12L, which is an update specifically aimed at tablets and foldables. Now, of course, that Samsung already has an amazing user experience on their foldables, but this is something that they had to build on top of Android, whereas what Google is trying to do is add native support in Android so that manufacturers that want to make foldable devices don't have to create any software tweaks for window management and all that kind of stuff on their foldables. The Pixel Fold was rumored to be released in Q4 2021 by 95 Google, John Prosser, Russ Young, and Dielic. But according to a more recent report by Russ Young, it's been cancelled. Or more like delayed indefinitely. They've told their suppliers to stop working on their foldable component orders as they felt that they could not compete with Samsung. Russ Young claims that Google's foldable did not have an S Pen or an under-the-display front camera, and even the back-facing cameras were underwhelming compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 3, which this one is also using some outdated tech, by the way. It's not actually using anything new, and Google was planning to use the same camera as in the Pixel 3, or in this case, the Pixel 2, same sensor. And because of these high R&D costs that Google had anyways, they decided to cancel it or delay it for the foreseeable future. Like, especially with Google set to launch Android 12L in May next year, it would make a lot of sense for Google to have some sort of hardware to demo their software on, just like, you know, they do with a Pixel. And the thing is, they already canceled the Pixel Slate, so it's not like they have a tablet anyways. But what do you guys think? Are you excited to see a Pixel Fold? Check out my thoughts on Samsung's foldables right here, and definitely subscribe for more Leaks and Rumors episodes. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.